Caustic can trap and slow enemies down for you to easily take them out. Meanwhile, Octane can speed himself up but damages himself in the process. But I place Octane right at the top tier, while I drop Caustic right at... Ooh, find out in this video. Let's kick it! This guide will teach you which legends are best and worst for beginners and why. Starting with Octane. Movement speed boost is king in mobile gaming. It's very hard to track enemies using your fingers, which is why his tactical stim provides him 30% movement speed boost is an absolute godsend in Apex Legends Mobile. His ultimate is perfect for moving around the map, also known as rotating. And last but not the least, his passive heals him over time, which works absolutely perfectly with his stim tactical, because every time he uses tactical ability, Octane loses 20% of his health. So once you've been out of combat for about 9 seconds, your health will start to regenerate. He is super fun to play, really easy to get used to, and because of what his abilities offer, Octane's playstyle allow you to actually focus more on gunfights. And with all this in mind, I am putting Octane right at S tier. Then we have Bangalore. Bangalore does get a little bit of a movement speed boost, kind of like Octane, but it's not as flexible because she can't manually activate it. What happens is, whenever Bangalore gets shot at or thrown a grenade at, she gets like a 4-second 30% movement speed boost, which is quite nice. Then we have a tactical ability, which is the smoke launcher. This tactical ability is absolutely fantastic for creating cover, but it can be annoying for teammates. Then we have her ultimate. Her ultimate is actually really great for splitting enemies, finishing knocks, or taking high ground off of people trying to hold it. But the major drawback to this is, even though it does damage and slow your enemies, it can also slow your teammates down if they get too close. And on top of that, it can also damage and kill you. With her tactical ability and her ultimate being a double-edged sword, even though Bangalore is actually a great legend to play with and easy to get used to, unfortunately her tactical ability and ultimate drawbacks drops her down to A tier, because as a beginner, you're not gonna have much clue forward planning when it comes to like, oh, I'm gonna drop my ult and my teammates over there. You're probably gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna drop that ult without even looking at your teammates and where they are. So yeah, A tier at best. Now we got Bloodhound. Bloodhound's abilities are all super easy to use and super helpful to the entire team. In shooter games, in fact, in a lot of games, information is power, and getting information before your enemy does is absolutely advantageous for you and your team. Starting off with his passive ability. His passive ability highlights enemy activities for the last 90 seconds. So when you get close to an area where there's been like enemies looting in there and stuff, there'll be icons that will pop up on your screen to say the enemy's been there within the last 90 seconds. You don't even have to do anything. These icons will literally just pop up. Then Bloodhound's tactical ability allows you to scan up to 75 meters in kind of like a dome shape in front of you. What this does is it highlights enemies in real time, as well as traps like Caustic's toxic gas or Wattson's electric fence. And it doesn't matter if there's an entire building blocking your line of sight. Enemies and traps will be highlighted, visible for you and your teammates to see. Then is absolutely insane ultimate ability, Beast of the Hunt. This ultimate ability enhances his scan. So basically what it does is the scan normally has a 20-second cooldown before you can scan again. Whenever Bloodhound uses his ultimate, for the entire duration of the ultimate, his tactical ability drops to 6-second cooldown. So in effect, you can spam your scan every 6 seconds. Then his vision will turn black and white, and any enemies that pop up on your screen will be highlighted in orange, just like his scan. Guess what? It doesn't stop there either. Bloodhound during his ultimate form also gets a 30% movement speed boost for the entirety of his ultimate. Absolutely ridiculous. With all this in mind, I'm sure that you can all pretty much guess where I'm going to put Bloodhound. Yes, he belongs in the S tier category. Right then, Pathy boy, aka Pathfinder. Pathfinder is a very fun legend to use once you master him. However, the road to mastering Pathfinder isn't actually that easy, because his tactical ability alone requires a bit of time spent in the firing range practicing it and understanding its mechanics. You know what, guys, let's take a bit of a break. Just to let you know, I've actually made individual legend guides for every single legend in the game, and these guides will definitely help you understand the mechanics for more complicated legends such as Pathfinder. All you've literally got to do is just check the description box below this video, and then you'll find all the links that you need there. Well then, let's get back to it. Quick recap. Pathfinder is very fun to use once you get used to him. However, the road to getting there isn't actually quite easy, so you're gonna need to spend some time in the firing range to understand his mechanics. Then we've got his ultimate, Zip Gun. Zip Gun fires a zipline. It's kind of basic for what it actually provides. However, zipline and the art of ziplining isn't exactly beginner friendly. But I have a movement guide for that anyway that teaches you everything that you need to know when it comes to movement, including ziplining. But yeah, you'll find the link in the description box. Having said all that, although Pathfinder can be a little bit tricky to use, his abilities are actually quite straightforward if you think about it. You just shoot things out. You just got to get used to how you actually use it. And because of that, I would gladly and comfortably and confidently put Pathfinder in A tier. Revenant, the death god himself. Revenant is a legend that looks absolutely fantastic on paper, but is very tricky to use. Revenant's passive ability allows him to crouch walk faster and climb walls higher, but climbing isn't a beginner-friendly mechanic of the game. His tactical ability can actually silence every single legend in the game, which means this tactical ability alone is a hard, direct counter for every single legend in the game. Yup, this ability alone can prevent every single legend in the game from using their ability. However, if you get close enough to the orb that you fire, you can actually silence yourself as well. Then we have his ultimate ability, the Death Totem. Even though this in effect gives you and your team a second life, this ability requires a massive amount of forward planning and is hella risky to use. You have to place a totem at a secure spot because the totem can be easily destroyed, the enemies can wait for you when you return to the totem, and it can leave you very vulnerable without shield HP. And because of all this, the forward planning, the climbing, the double-edged swordness of his tactical ability, Revenant belongs in the C tier. It doesn't make him a bad legend though, guys. Remember, no legend is actually bad. Some are just harder to get started with than the others. Lifeline! Lifeline is the best support legend in the game. Lifeline's abilities are super straightforward to use as well. Lifeline's passive ability allows her to do what we call a tap revive. Whenever your teammate is down, run up to them, tap the revive button, and you can go away and do your own thing. How is this even possible? Well, her passive ability deploys her DOC drone to do the reviving for her. Not only this passive ability also drops a shield in front of your down teammate that is completely indestructible. And you can revive 2 down teammates at the same time. And guess what? This passive ability doesn't have a cooldown either. So you can absolutely spam it as often as you want. Then her tactical ability, Healing Drone, works kind of the same way as the Revival Drone, in a sense that once the Healing Drone is deployed, this thing can heal 2 people simultaneously over time. Then we've got her absolutely fantastic ultimate ability, Care Package. This ultimate ability allows Lifeline to call down an airdrop that will provide absolutely fantastic survival gear. And within this airdrop, you'll find things like attachments, heals, as well as a guarantee for a body armor upgrade. And this is why Lifeline is the best support legend in the game, which subsequently makes Lifeline an S tier legend. Gibraltar, your friendly neighborhood tank. Not only is Gibraltar very easy to use, he is also a legend that just belongs in a top tier meta. Starting off with his passive ability, he brings up a shield in the middle of a gunfight, so whenever he ADSs, a shield will pop up in front of him that also provides 50 HP. This ability alone makes Gibraltar so annoying to fight in a 1v1 situation. Then we've got his tactical ability, Dome of Protection, which is a portable cover that Gibby can carry around with him. All you're gonna do to use it is literally just throw it on the floor, and then an indestructible dome will pop out and provide you with some cover. Super useful in a lot of situations. And last, his ultimate ability, Defensive Bombardment. Quite similar to Bangalore's ultimate ability actually. You throw the flare down, you wait a little bit, a bunch of missiles rain down on the area. Gibby's protection capability is absolutely unmatched in the entire game, which is why right from day one makes Gibby such a fantastic legend for all levels. Yup, you guessed it, S tier. Alright then, here we go. Krypto, another legend that looks great on paper. That's because he actually is. But his kit requires a hell of a lot of thinking to be effective with. Let's put it this way. His tactical ability alone can actually get you killed if you just use it out in the open. So with that in mind, positioning is very, very important before you even think about using his tactical ability. On top of this, the drone itself can actually be easily destroyed. So again, positioning is key. And as a beginner, 9 times out of 10, positioning is something that we don't have as a skill immediately. On top of all this, the enemies are even alerted whenever a drone is near them. His ultimate, the drone EMP, is actually super easy to use, but it can be cancelled if the drone is destroyed before it can emit the EMP. But yeah, for the fact that you have to hide before you even use your tactical ability, and then you gotta make sure that your drone doesn't get destroyed, Krypto just makes a very hard legend to get started with as a beginner. So unfortunately, for this guide for beginners, Krypto belongs in a D tier. Wow fam, you still here? You must be actually liking the video then. Could you do your boy a little favor and tap that like button? Go on. Thank you. Alright, time for our boy Mirage. This guy is another hella super straightforward legend to use. He's actually one of the most fun legends to use as well. Mirage is the trickster of Apex Legends Mobile. First of all, his tactical ability allows you to create and send out a decoy in front of you. Great for distractions or testing the waters out when you're trying to get on a corner. Just send that decoy out and see if anyone's there. If anyone shoots at the decoy, someone's there. Then we've got his ultimate ability, Life of the Party. This thing sends out 8 decoys. 8 exact replicas of Mirage himself. So I'm guessing that you can imagine how annoying it would be to fight a Mirage and all of a sudden you've got 9 people in front of you. Also a fantastic ultimate ability to escape with. Then his passive ability, which is one of the best support passive abilities in the game. Whenever one of your teammates is knocked down and you start to revive them, Mirage and that teammate will turn invisible after a couple of blinks. And on top of this, whenever Mirage uses a respawn beacon, he will also turn invisible. This guy is an all-around great legend and is also super easy to use. And because of that, S tier, baby. Caustic. Caustic is a great legend. It's just a bit hard to use, but not that hard. His tactical ability requires good placements for them to really shine. It also has a few mechanics that you need to know and understand first. But as far as placing down the gas canisters, it's actually not that hard. You just throw it on the floor, much like Gibby's tactical ability. His ultimate ability, however, the gas grenade, is a bit more easy to use. In fact, it's actually super easy to use. You just throw it and it's immediately effective. His passive ability is actually quite good, but it just requires toxic gas from either him or the enemy to be out. Otherwise, he has no other use. Caustic is good. Caustic is easy to learn. However, Caustic requires a bit more IQ to play. And quite frankly, not a lot of beginners have high IQ to start with. So, B tier. Wattson. Watson's actually very similar to Caustic. Wait, do you hear that? Subscribe. Oh, cheeky. Anyway, yeah. Wattson is actually very similar to Caustic in terms of the player has to be a bit of a thinker. Her tactical ability actually requires better placements than Caustic's toxic gas. Why? Well, the fences can be easily seen and destroyed. The fences aren't that effective out in the open space either. Then her passive ability, which regens her shield, but it regens at a slow rate unless her ultimate is out. But this is where Wattson actually really shines. Her ultimate ability is absolutely fantastic. It can delete every type of ordnance, including Gibby's ult missile. Yes, anything that gets close to her intercept and pylon will get deleted. And like I said earlier, it doubles the amount of shield regen that she has with her passive ability. The pylon itself can act as a cover, and whenever she uses one ultimate accelerant, this fully charges her ultimate ability. Oh, and she can carry 2 ultimate accelerants in one slot. But yeah, Wattson is very, very similar to Caustic. Her tactical ability is slightly less effective out in the open, unlike Caustic's traps, but her ultimate ability definitely makes up for that with outdoor protection. So I'm gonna gladly put her in B tier. Wraith time! Wraith is simply amazing. Remember when I said movement speed boost is king at the start? Well, her tactical does that and more. Her tactical ability provides Wraith with 30% movement speed boost. She almost disappears. Her hitbox completely disappears, meaning she just cannot be hit. And nothing, literally nothing can damage you during your phase. Not even the ring damage. What sort of skill is this? Then her ultimate ability provides absolutely fantastic rotation paths for her, her team, and the enemy team. To be fair. And check this out. You can also enter the phase from her tactical right before she enters her dimensional portal, meaning she can have 30% extra movement speed boost going through that portal. Insane. Then on top of all this, her passive ability makes Wraith automatically speak out loud whenever there's an enemy threat ahead. She says something in the lines of, "I feel like there's an enemy watching us." But just a little less creepy, eh? Wraith is undoubtedly one of the best legends in the game, if not the best legend in the game. There is no discussion about it, no debate. Wraith is S tier. Period. And you know what else is S tier? This video.